It's time for our former vice president to address him this week in Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
In a weekend interview, Vladimir Putin laughed at the suggestion that you had called him a killer. Is that still your belief, sir, that he is a killer? And I'll continue the trend if you don't mind of asking a second question. Do you believe if he does agree to cooperate, then what kind of a challenge do you find yourself in? How would you ever trust him? And if Ronald Reagan said trust but verify, what do you say to Vladimir Putin?
To answer the first question, I'm laughing too. They actually, well, look, I mean, he has made clear that
Yeah, the laughing was just actually his remaining blood clots escaping his body.
Yeah. Putin was, and he just shut
Maybe
down.
it'll clear him. Still a big blue spot.
Wow, we're all gonna die.
Can you imagine being Putin looking at that like,
oh my gosh.
It's going to be a cakewalk.
Did you hear what Biden said about you? No. Yeah, because he didn't.
Yeah, nothing. 10 seconds of,
I will use my judo black belt to fold his clothes with him inside them.
He just saw the light.
He just...
He was like, look,
He had a choice to make.
He just saw the light, only he saw Peter going...
no.
Stay back.
Not on the list.
No, I think we have a spot down there.
Before this all blew up, though, no pun intended there, Biden made some predictions about the crisis, and let's see how they aged.
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
no, it is not.
Your own intelligence community has assessed that the Afghan government will likely collapse.
That is not true.
Can you please clarify what they have told you about whether that will happen or not?
That is not true. They did not.
We heard you the first time.
Did not reach that conclusion.
We're back inside. We're just showing you again, our viewers who are following this, just showing you again those pictures from earlier of Taliban fighters behind the desk of the presidential
they're probably going to go to jail for that.
Do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam with some people feeling...
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan.
So, Charlotte, one assumes that is the evacuation process ongoing, that what we're looking at in terms of helicopters. That
didn't take long.
Right?
Yeah, what you're looking at, we've just had 2 more helicopters take off from the U.S. Embassy.
We were clear-eyed about the risks. We planned for every contingency, but I always promised the American people that I would be straight with you. The truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Look, next time,
Next time, we'll be prepared.
when you were going to say that this will not be like Saigon, you better make damn sure that helicopters are not currently flying in to rescue people. Now, I know that statement was made a little bit before, but they could have gone back and said, well, maybe it'll be a little like Saigon.
Just
maybe
just a little
helicopters
bit,
will be
man.
involved. It's like,
Just a bad look.
can you imagine working for him on his PR team right now? You're just like, everything he says right now, just can we,
like, sir,
Kamala, please help us?
Here's an ice cream cone. Shut up, please.
I know.
At the G7 summit this weekend, world leaders gathered to hash out global issues, and they kicked it off with some hearty elbow bumps.
Stop it.
Oh, my goodness.
Boris Johnson looks like a chia pet.
Stop.
Oh, look at that.
Enough.
White people with no rhythm.
Exactly.
Whatsoever. Yeah, quarter black, how unacceptable is their whiteness?
It amazes me. Like, you think... Also, if you look at the panel of them all standing there, Where's the black representation?
None.
There's none.
There's none. If there was one, he'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing that elbow thing. That's stupid.
They should just cut to, just like Tiny Zeus Lister. Just, Give me your chain.
Listen, is a fist bump so hard? Really?
Yeah, come on.
It's in this?
Yeah.
You're unmasked, but you're like, hey.
So lame.
Oh, no. We didn't show the Canadian Prime Minister. He was masked and elbow bumping.
Yes.
Was he really?
And also
He's a world
showed up
leader.
in blackface again, which...
Pretending he's representing an actual country.
If Trudeau is fist bumping in blackface, he's at least trying. But
no, he didn't go that far.
His country just reached the population of Metro LA.
Yeah, there you go.
I bet if they were mic'd, you could hear them all just go, "What's up, brother?"
Hey,
brother.
buddy.
I need to say it with a little more soul. You've been hanging out with these guys too
Yeah,
long.
brother. You want to go down to the tennis club, homie?
Banana in my tailpipe.
I like polo.
What I like.
You like lacrosse, brother? White
We
people.
represent
We
the
need a
world.
world war. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think us whites can admit when we're not good at stuff.
Severely uncool.
Yeah, severely uncool.
Yes.
That, which is fine, as long as you own it.
Yeah, you got to accept it.
That's why I don't go up to people like, "Hey, I'm Dave. let's touch elbows."
You know what that's called? This is called the weenus.
Is it called a weenus?
You can look this up.
Is it
I'm not
touching
sure.
I
weenuses?
learned that in like kindergarten.
It looks like the weenus.
Listen, I don't want to touch anybody else's weenus, okay?
I'm just not an elbow bump guy. Because my uncle never was like, you need to have a firm weenus shape. That's going to get you a job.
Demand respect.
Not any kind of job you want, Dave.
No. You know,
it's a bad career.
yeah, I heard him wrong. But the real highlights this week was former Vice President Joe Biden's gaffes.
Oh, boy.
And just say how pleased I am to welcome those who have just joined us, bringing some pretty spectacular weather with them. Prime Minister Modi, President Ramaphosa, President Moon, in just a minute. And the President of South Africa. And the President of South Africa, as I said earlier. Oh, you did? I did not. I certainly did.
I'm sorry, I'm going to get in trouble with staff if I don't do this the right way. Jennifer Jacob, Bloomberg.
The European allies. Can I ask a question about the European allies?
I'm going to get in trouble with my staff. Yeah, go ahead, but I pretend that you didn't answer you.
You've kept in place some Trump-era steel and aluminum sanctions. And I wanted to ask you, when you're having these conversations with European allies who are very concerned about these sanctions, how do you justify that? And what are your plans to
120 days. Give me a break. Need time. COVID is, I know you all know, but a lot of people may not know what COVID is.
What was 120 days ago, the last time he shit his pants?
I need more time.
I
need fiber.
I ate a lot of total.
Too much total.
It's a mess.
I love how, like, 30 seconds before he welcomes the president of South Africa, he's like, well, hold on, Boris, South Africa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you covered, man. He's like, and then he just puts his hand out like a senile old man. Oh, please don't say anything else. What do I say? Wow. Yes, as I just said. So.
As I said earlier.
I like how he thinks they're laughing with him.
I know. No.
Yeah.
And they're not.
He is so desperate to be one of the cool kids. He just absolutely wants to be accepted amongst that group and will do anything and say anything to get it.
So one thing I wanted to be clear, a lot of people were saying, hey, I think you might be unfair yesterday with Biden saying sticking like the Blue Angels when all of them went straight into the earth.
10 out of 10.
Ouch. The ER N-word at a Munich conference.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Susan, YouTube. Don't take my word for it, right? LeVar Burton, where then it's like he points to a bunch of, he's like, I'm not qualified. Here's a 6-year-old. I like the pop-up book. It's a book, reading rainbow. Aren't you the host? Shouldn't I take your word for it, LeVar? I don't know. Go put on your stupid glasses. So don't take my word for it. YouTube captioning. We did not do this. The auto captioning confirms repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
And I was surprised that the captioning actually included the entire spelling of the N-word.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Here, let's roll the clip. This is YouTube captioning on Biden's speech from our show yesterday.
I'm eager to hear next.
Oh, he just dropped an N-bomb.
Yeah, hold on a second. I know what you're going to say. Not a word whisker, but it's a bad whisker. It's just a case for those who missed it.
Niggered here, next. Niggered here, niggered here.
Oh, that's a word whipper. That's a hard D.
There you have it. There you have it.
So, YouTube, thank you for saving us from a lawsuit from you by being you. Okay, so a few things that Biden got wrong here when he was talking at his press conference.
Outdoors, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. I also love how he put on his sunglasses like 3 times to leave and then came back. Like he was trying to do the CSI Miami, like, what? I won't get fooled again. Huh?
I got fooled again.
More questions? Okay.
No, the guess who? Again. It's the who, Joe. The hell's the difference? It's a huge difference.
It's 2 different things.
So Biden began by saying out loud that he was given a list of reporters to call on. He said this. Here you go.
Okay. I'll take your questions, and as usual, folks, they gave me a list of the people I'm going to call on. So, Jonathan, Associated Press.
Okay.
Wow.
So comparing this, again, where we're talking about...
You don't say the quiet parts out loud, bro.
That's all he does.
As a position of strength.
Yeah.
Now, here's the issue you would have with Donald Trump. If Donald Trump had been given a list of reporters to call on, and they asked him about it, he would say, no, it's my list.
Yeah. I made it.
Because he understands that you don't want to look like a puppet.
What did I do?
Former Vice President Joe Biden also confused Putin with President Trump.
I caught part of President Putin's press conference, and he talked about the need for us to be able to have some kind of modus operandi where we dealt with making sure the Arctic was, in fact, a free zone.
I mean, it makes sense because he checks under his bed for both.
He's so boring. They put him on C-SPAN 3. I didn't even know there was a C-SPAN.
What's C-SPAN 2? Buffalo Wild Wings Cornhole Championship. It's the Red Bull BMX off a cliff event.
I love how Joe Biden...
that'd be interesting.
He thinks that whatever Putin says is gospel.
Yeah.
Like, do you not understand? He's like, oh, yeah, it's going to totally be a free zone. They got a lot of warships up there, and they're taking our land. But don't worry. He promised.
He said.
There's going to be a free zone. Yeah. Good.
And I think now they're just so complacent. They are so comfortable with the media carrying their water that Joe Biden doesn't realize that even the media is going to have to backtrack now and address the lie that he spouts on January 6th and saying that the rioters killed an officer, which we know is not true.
When President Putin was questioned today about human rights, he said the reason why he's cracking down on opposition leaders is because he doesn't want something like January 6th to happen in Russia. And he also said he doesn't want to see groups formed like Black Lives Matter. What's your response to that, please?
My response is kind of what I communicated. But I think that's a ridiculous comparison. It's one thing for literally criminals to break through cordon, go into the Capitol, kill a police officer, and be held unaccountable.
You are fake
news. It is for people objecting and marching on the Capitol and saying, you are not allowing me to speak freely. You are not allowing me to do A, B, C, or D. And so they're very different criteria.
Okay. This is something. If people were to want, if the left were to want a civil war, which God forbid ever happens in this country, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. What you do is tell Americans that what they are seeing, what they are experiencing, at least $2 billion in damages. It's been a year since they've upped the number, since they've updated it. Probably $4 billion when we're talking about the Black Lives Matter riots. Cities burning, dozens of deaths, hundreds of officer casualties, city halls, Walgreens, police precincts being burned, right in front of their eyes, people being shot in autonomous zones that were erected in a complete state of lawlessness, and you say all they were doing was saying that they weren't allowed to speak, as opposed to January 6th, and then you lie and say where someone killed an officer. If you want, this is sort of exactly, if you look at the playbook of people who want to create civil unrest, division within their country. They used to accuse Donald Trump of this. Yeah. What you do is tell people that exactly what they're seeing and experiencing isn't so. By the way, we have exclusive video of Joe Biden practicing for his speech. And by the way, this is not a dub. None of this is fake. This is real.
These white supremacists, Nazi sympathizers, carrying Nazi flags, Jews in need.
Jews in need.
You
bumbling idiot.
This is the first moment that I can't even decipher. So we'll try and analyze it after this, just as I do on CNN, because we are professionals.
But there's, there to be, beginning this effort for 2021 is, I think we've learned a few lessons from last year as well. There's help as they're, being there to help clear roads, rebuild main streets, and so that the families can get back to their lives. That's what FEMA does every single day.
Someone help him.
Oh, I thought he was getting better.
Did anyone here understand what he was trying to say?
No.
No one?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
I'm not. Sometimes I've said this when we were watching debates, like, oh, he meant to say this, he misspoke. Your guess is as good as mine.
Is that the war room he's in?
I have no idea.
He's talking.
Gosh, can you imagine him in the war room? Now, it's sad that I'm saying that this is let me set up this clip. Biden, former Vice President Joe Biden, just had yet another poor kids are just as smart as white kids moment.
No. Really?
Yeah, this was just yesterday. Your former Vice President.
The data shows young black entrepreneurs are just as capable of succeeding given the chance as white entrepreneurs are. But they don't have lawyers. They don't have...
This surprises you?
They don't have accountants. But they have great ideas. Does anyone doubt this whole nation would be better off from the investments those people make? And I promise you, that's why I set up this National Small Business Administration that's much broader, because they're going to get those loans.
Imagine if that guy was your public defendant. Says, I'm going to jail. He's your divorce attorney. She's going to get everything.
They're giving you death for parking tickets?
Yeah. He also just claimed to set up the Small Business Association, which was around before he was born.
Which, by the way,
that's why I did it. That was me.
He said, business.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm getting better. And by the way, this is not a new sentiment. We've talked about this.
No.
It's not even the racism of soft expectations. It's just racism. Joe Biden
it's just the racism.
Thinks that black people are less capable, and so that's why he has to, like a daily affirmation, black people are just as capable as white people. Black people are just as capable as white people. Black people are just as capable as white people. And he does it. It's like in his meditation app, because this is him, I believe, back in, it's 2019, so not that long ago.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Oh no. Bro, no.
I love that he's dressed like Judge Smales.
I love that that's the most honest moment we get out of him.
And by the way, this isn't all the this is a long this week in Biden.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's really more of a fortnight. How long is a fortnight?
2 weeks.
Fortnight is 2 weeks.
Well,
Okay, I had that right.
would know because that's how they actually kept time when he was.
And we do it through lines on the wall with a carving tool. Can someone sharpen my carving tool? I'm the president, for God's sake. Then he said something else really stupid, but still funny.
According to the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al-Qaeda, white supremacists.
Yeah.
Huh?
Stop it.
Set it to code orange, more of a taupe.
He doesn't say words like to and the anymore.
No, he doesn't.
You notice that? He's like, is the most threatening.
Yeah.
Jump right over it.
White people.
It threat you white.
Huh?
You guys say more? Yeah, you actually need to say a lot more because we don't understand anything you're saying, former Vice President Joe Biden.
You need to find them connection words.
It's like, you push up, we do.
You know the thing.
He's becoming unfrozen caveman lawyer.
It's former Vice President Biodome.
Your world frightens and confuses.
I should have never played that board game. Jews manji. The Jews manji.
Manji.
What? The Hebrews eating snacks? And here's something that he actually said, and this is absolutely. I know you're going to think this is it's not really a sketch. We just made sure to emphasize this is actually something he said in chronological order. You make sense of it.
I challenge you. Find today, when you turn on the stations, sit on one station for 2 hours. And I don't know how many commercials you'll see. Like 8 to 5. 2 to 3 out of 5 have mixed race couples in them. That's not by accident. They're selling soap, man. Not a joke, because they want to sell what they have. We have hope.
Damn right.
Wow, all of that made no sense except that he's racist.
Guys, would you like to have some? I got some soap.
Yeah. Okay. Look, no, we told you put it away. We don't. Not the Amway stuff on. Not the Amway stuff on this show. Not on this show. No. Okay, so this is Biden. Just so you know, it makes about as much sense as Tenet. I'm pretty tired. Dave is pretty tired. Even then, this still doesn't make sense. It's Biden talking about really a subject where he has a certain level of expertise. Amtrak.
If you think about it, when I was vice president with Barack, he allowed me to put together a budget for Amtrak, and it had money for high-speed rail at 200 miles an hour from Charlotte.
He's doing math now.
Another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. Another line. If we had moved, Gov, we'd have that tunnel fixed in New York now. The money was there to get it done.
What
are we doing?
Well, former Vice President Joe Biden, the little engine that couldn't.
I don't
care about the.
Who am I?
Wow, that video clip was something else. Isn't that right, Dave?
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, it was clipped from the live show every Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the best way you can just tune in, watch, and comment with us live. If you want to support this content, because no one else is going to, CrowderShop.com. Hit the like, share, more importantly, buy a shirt. Because there are some people who will be lucky to have shirts in China. They're starving.